All right, well, this is my brand new 2024 Tesla Model 3 long range. And in today's video, I'm going to be covering some of the Tesla hater misconceptions that they have about Tesla or just EVs in general. Now, I'm not going to lie, I was a EV hater at one point in my life before I actually dug into how these cars are, how they perform, and how they work. And honestly, I think that's where all of the hatred comes towards not only Teslas but just EVs in general. People, I don't think they're not really educated on these vehicles, and all they do is just read the news, because obviously the news wants to make clicks, make headlines, so they'll really just put out anything and everything. All right, so let's talk about the first thing. I think this is probably the biggest thing that people talk about, is that these cars catch fire just like that. And that's not true actually, because if you look at the statistics, look at the data, the numbers don't lie. Obviously ICE vehicles actually catch more on fire than EV cars. So I'm not sure where they're getting these numbers from, because I know, let's say you see a vehicle and happens to be either an EV or especially a Tesla, and it does catch on fire for whatever reason, the media picks that up and just runs with it. They know they're gonna get all of the clicks, all of the views, and obviously nowadays views and clicks equals money in their pockets, so they're gonna do whatever they can to put out those crazy headlines, and people eat that stuff up. And also, people mention how these cars, if you have them parked in the garage, that once it's plugged in, your house is going to catch fire, and that's not entirely true. In fact, it's not true at all, because whether you're at a Tesla supercharger or at home, these charging cables have temperature sensors built in, so it's very easy for them to know if the vehicle or the wiring is getting too hot. Now, the next thing that a lot of people are worried about, especially if it's their first EV that they're ever buying, is the range. Now, that's not only limited to Teslas, that's just EVs in general. But honestly, for the average person that's buying this type of a vehicle, they're not going to be driving like 1,000 kilometers every single day. And even if you are, there's a ton of infrastructure, especially with the Tesla network. So having that fear of running out of charge and being stranded on the side of the road, I'm not sure why people have those fears, but once you do own a fully EV vehicle, you slowly learn that charging at home and then charging on the road as well is super easy and convenient. Now, I know with the other manufacturers that are non-Tesla, their charging networks are not as great as Tesla's, because I always hear about how the charging stations are down or something just happens. And yes, that can happen with even Tesla ones, but typically the Tesla supercharging network is very reliable, and there is a ton of them throughout North America. So if you're planning a road trip, it shouldn't really be an issue for you or a worry if that is something that is kind of straying you away from buying a full EV vehicle. And not only that, but more and more manufacturers are slowly opening up their charging towards the Tesla superchargers. So even if you have a non-Tesla, you can even charge there. So that's a huge benefit, that you can have access to all of this network. All right, the next thing that I hear very often, and it's probably like the number one complaint that these haters have, that charging just takes too long. And again, that's not necessarily true, because first off, the reason you're going to buy an EV is to gain access and tap into the home charging, which is the most perfect way to charge your vehicle at home, obviously, because you don't have to go to a gas station out of your way. And yes, people will say it takes a few minutes to fill up, blah blah. I get that, but I'm not standing there outside when in the summertime when it's blistering hot and I'm sweating for no reason, or in the wintertime where I have snot dripping down my nose. I can just go into my garage, get out of my vehicle, and just plug it in and just go inside and do what I need to do and just go to sleep and wake up with a full tank of gas. And that happens every single night. I don't even remember the last time I went to a gas station, other than if it was with another family member or a friend or whatever. I just plug it in at home and I am good to go the next day. Now, let's say for whatever reason I decide to go on a long road trip, then yes, I will have to stop. And now that depends how far I'm going and all of that. But regardless, if I had an EV or a gas vehicle and I'm doing a long road trip, I'm still going to be stopping every 2-3 hours to stretch my legs, go to the bathroom, eat some food. Because let's face it, most of these people that complain about these things things about EV vehicles and Teslas in general is that, oh, I can fill up quicker than you and leave my destination, or I can drive longer than you at a long distance, road trip. Sure, you can do that, but I prefer, whether I have a gas vehicle or an all EV vehicle, I'm still gonna stop. I'm human. I gotta use the bathroom. I gotta eat. I get hungry. I gotta get a coffee break. You know what I mean? And especially if you have kids, oh, forget about it. You're probably stopping every 2 hours for sure. Now, when you do stop at a supercharger when you're on a road trip, it's not like you're staying there for 30-40 minutes, right? Maybe that one-off chance that your car is gonna top up at a certain percentage that you need to stay there, but typically you're there for probably like 10, 15, 20 minutes max. And by the time you plug in your vehicle, go inside, wait in line to order your food, go to the bathroom and stretch your legs, you're 15, 20 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever it is, it's probably already up. Because let's face it, by the time you get to the gas pump, and remember, typically when you're on a road trip, gas stations on like an en route are fairly busy. So you may have to wait in line to get to the pump, first of all. And then second of all, you gotta either go inside to pay or punch in your credit card information. You gotta press no to having a car wash or any other incentives that the gas station is offering. And then you gotta stand there and pump your gas. So whether you're standing there for 2, 3, 5 minutes, whatever it is, you still physically have to be by your car. Whereas for us, we can just plug in and go wherever we need to go inside. Another huge thing that I see a lot of these non-EV owners or just EV haters, specifically Tesla haters, I don't know why, but Tesla has a ton of haters compared to everyone else, is that they talk about replacing the battery and how expensive it is, and it can happen anytime, so it's not really reliable. Well, I'm not sure if they do their research, but the warranty that you have with your battery is crazy. I think it's like 8 years or something? And that's a very, very long time if something happens to the battery. Now, granted, if you run over a curb or if you do something while driving the vehicle that damages the battery, sure, it's on you. Then you don't know how to drive. Might as well get some driving lessons while you're at it. And that can even happen with a gas engine. If you're not careful, going over curbs, you can damage something about the vehicle. In terms of replacing the battery, you've got a crazy, crazy battery warranty on these things. And not only the battery warranty, but these things are designed to last a very, very, very long time. I mean, the Model Y wouldn't have been the best-selling vehicle in the world, right, for a reason. If people were having this many issues with their batteries, why on earth would someone buy a vehicle where they know they're gonna have issues? So if I were you, and you're contemplating on whether going full EV or not, do your own research. If you feel it's right for you and for your circumstances, go for it. That's what I did. The funny thing is, before purchasing this vehicle, I had my eyes on a 2024 Toyota Corolla all-wheel drive, because I've grown up with driving Toyota since I can remember. So that was my first choice. And then I heard about the redesign on these and I saw it and I just fell in love with it and I went with this. And I'm so glad that I did. Another common thing that I hear is that Teslas or EVs in general are very, very expensive to insure. Well, let me tell you, it's actually not. I pay less in insurance for this 2024 Model 3 long range than my wife does on her 2022 Lexus NX 350. Yes, you heard that right. Yes, some things will come into play, like where you live, your record and whatnot. I'm happy with the amount that I'm paying. I think it's like 300 something and change. I think 370 or 380. So yeah, I'm not worried about that either, because I'm not paying for gas or anything else, right? No maintenance. Everything has its ups and downs, whether you get an EV or a gas car. Well, that covers the typical misconceptions that these Tesla haters have, or non-EV owners, when they don't do their homework properly. But let me know in the comments below, because the last few videos I have posted, I know some of you did buy a similar vehicle like this, maybe in a different color or whatever. Let me know if you agree with these misconceptions, or you have maybe some other ones. I know there's tons of them, but these were the ones that I kept hearing over and over and reading about. But yeah, let me know what other content that you guys want to see on this vehicle. I'll be happy to make it, and I'll see you guys in the next video.